Satan, often referred to as the adversary, has a vested interest in keeping individuals in a state of poverty and financial struggle. His ultimate goal is to distract and deceive humanity, preventing them from fulfilling their God-given potential and living a life of purpose and prosperity. By keeping people poor, Satan aims to limit their influence, undermine their faith, and erode their sense of self-worth. One of the primary reasons Satan wants people to stay poor is to restrict their ability to support God's work and advance His kingdom. When individuals are struggling financially, they are less likely to be generous and give to those in need, which is a fundamental aspect of Christian living. Additionally, poverty can lead to a sense of desperation and hopelessness, causing people to focus on their immediate needs rather than seeking a deeper connection with God. By keeping people in a state of financial insecurity, Satan can effectively silence their witness and hinder their ability to share the gospel with others. Another reason Satan wants people to stay poor is to create a sense of division and inequality. When people are struggling to make ends meet, they are more likely to become isolated and disconnected from others. This can lead to feelings of resentment and bitterness, which can ultimately destroy relationships and communities. Satan delights in seeing people at odds with one another, and poverty can be a powerful tool in creating and exacerbating these divisions. Furthermore, poverty can also have a profound impact on a person's mental and emotional well-being. Chronic financial stress can lead to anxiety, depression, and a range of other mental health issues. This can, in turn, undermine a person's faith and make them more vulnerable to Satan's lies and deceptions. When people are struggling to cope with the pressures of poverty, they may become more susceptible to temptation and sin, which can further exacerbate their financial struggles. So, how can people fight against Satan's desire to keep them poor? The first step is to recognize that poverty is not just a financial issue, but a spiritual one as well. It requires a deep understanding of God's heart and His desire for humanity to live in abundance and prosperity. By seeking a closer relationship with God and trusting in His provision, people can begin to break free from the cycle of poverty and financial struggle. Another key strategy is to develop a biblical understanding of money and finances. This involves recognizing that everything belongs to God and that people are merely stewards of His resources. By adopting a mindset of generosity and giving, individuals can begin to experience the joy and freedom that comes from living a life of financial integrity. This may involve creating a budget, paying off debt, and building an emergency fund, but it also requires a deeper commitment to trusting God and seeking His guidance in all financial decisions. In addition to these practical steps, it is also essential to recognize the power of community and support in overcoming poverty. By surrounding themselves with like-minded individuals who share their values and faith, people can find encouragement, accountability, and prayer support. This can help to combat the sense of isolation and disconnection that often accompanies poverty and provide a sense of belonging and purpose. Finally, people can fight against Satan's desire to keep them poor by choosing to live a life of faith and obedience. This involves trusting in God's promises and provision, even when the circumstances seem impossible. It requires a willingness to take risks, step out in faith, and seek God's guidance and direction in all areas of life. By doing so, individuals can begin to experience the breakthrough and blessing that comes from living a life that is surrendered to God, and they can ultimately overcome the forces of poverty and financial struggle that Satan seeks to impose upon them.